Good morning, everyone. It's Hiker Dude Dad, and I am at Riverfront Park in Marietta. The river is almost up to the walkway here. I've walked out through those trees before to get close to the river. We've had a ton of rain over the last week. I'm gonna walk up to the White Cliffs today, past Shocks Mill Bridge, and just see what I can find. Nice leisurely stroll today. So right off the bat is the 1 mile long cornfield that I complain about in the summertime when I'm riding a bike out here in 90-degree heat and there's no shade, nowhere to hide. So probably won't talk too much here in this first mile and a quarter or so, because it is just field. But we'll get to good stuff soon. Stay tuned. Yeah, so some of these little side tributary areas are usually fairly dry. You usually don't notice them at all, but they are all very swampy, very bog-like, and even a little bit frozen around the edges. The wind chill today is 18 degrees. It is oh, I don't know, we got about 5 days till Christmas. I guess we're about December 20th. It is cold. It is temp in the 20s and got about an 8-mile-per-hour breeze here. So just when you think you're beyond the big cornfield, there's another smaller one here that counts in the 1.25 miles. Right, so getting close to the walkway under Shocks Mill Bridge. The very first time I was here was over the winter time. I didn't know anything about Shocks Mill Bridge. I was just walking on the river path, and there were ice jams, huge like icebergs up over the walkway here. It was really blocked off. I couldn't get through, and even some of the fencing and the railings were knocked out. I think that wasn't long after they built the walkway. But any other time I've been here, the river's been kind of low. You can almost walk out sometimes to the first pilings. So really curious to see how much of that is covered here with all this water. The river is moving so fast. I'm gonna try and do a time lapse here probably. But yeah, when the area is flooded, might not be able to get through. Oh boy. Well, I'd say that's flooded out. Holy cow. No idea. Oh, look at all the trees. You usually come off the trail a little bit, go down, and then, like I said, walk between the piling. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to zoom in on the phone, but yeah, the entire walkway is underwater, and there is absolutely no walk into that first piling or anything. Oh my god, it's ridiculous. I've been texting with Cole and Brett from Topo Ranger, and Brett looked it up. He said the river at Harrisburg, just north of here, is 12 feet. When we've climbed around Conewago Falls, the rocks, the glacial potholes and everything, that area, we try and get out there when it's about 3.5 feet. So it's at 12 feet now. I'm gonna drive up to Falmouth just to see how much of the rocks and everything. You're not gonna be able to see any of the potholes. But yeah, probably being scoured out a bit more now. This is nuts. I'm gonna try and zoom in on some stuff here and see. There's a flood sign that's almost underwater there. And then under the bridge here, if I zoom in, here's the covered walkway right in the middle. You can see the roof for it. And then at the bottom, you can see all the turbulence where it's rushing around it. This is so wild. I've never seen it this high. So we came down here. I'm wondering if I can walk up here a little bit just to try and see down. I want to try and see the walkway a little better. I think I can sneak in behind these trees here. All right, so we came up above the water a little bit there. Maybe about 20-30 yards closer than I was. So there's a walkable path up and around for a little bit. Then you kind of get to this fence and some railroad ties there coming down from the bridge, and it's just absolutely not passable. There are thorns and all kinds of stuff through there. Absolutely impassable. Hey, if you know what this is, these fruits, nuts maybe, they look like mutated pawpaws or something. These things are all over the ground right here. Not sure what they came off of, but they're about a little larger than a baseball, maybe a softball. Just have this, they're very hard. No idea. Never seen them anywhere. All right, I'm gonna go back down to where it's dry and safe and contemplate my next move. I'm not getting to the White Cliffs this way. I think my plan now is to just head back across the boring field and drive up to, first I want to stop at Falmouth. I want to get a shot of Conewago Falls and how the rocks look, if you can see them at all. Then I may go down the Bainbridge, walk to the White Cliffs from there, and go past and see how far I can get to Shocks Mill Bridge by walking south. Well, I know how much is blocked up over on that side too. This is wild. Change of plans. This is why we explore. Got to be able to pivot. Let's go. I had to park parallel with the porta potty at Falmouth because the entire parking lot almost is underwater. These are long boat trailer spaces. The ramp completely underwater, trees rushing by. This is crazy. It's higher than I thought it was. Yeah, all the rocks over there are underwater. This is bonkers. Another car just pulled into the lot here too. This is the crazy part for me. The boat safety and warning signs and everything like that are almost completely submerged. This is so nuts. The first power line, the base of that is underwater. So yeah, any of the rocks that we climbed on in the summertime when the river was 3.5 feet, completely submerged. This is like beach waves coming up here. It is so wild out there. The last time I was here, I put the kayak in, and I was gonna head up around the rocks here, and there was just a little bit of a kind of a flow there that I felt was too strong and too dangerous to go up. This is absolute crazy. This is whitewater compared to it. This is so fast moving. Whoop. Getting waved on here, my feet. Even back this way by that lodge that's on stilts. Crazy how much of this is underwater. I mean, all that's dry usually. Insane. I can't wait to see Bainbridge. So we went to Falmouth. This is like basically the northern terminus of the Northwest River Trail. So I head back down south about 3 miles to Bainbridge. I'm gonna zoom in on the York Haven Dam area. The water's just spilling over everywhere. So often this part of the York Haven Dam is dry. Water not spilling over. Today, yeah, spilling over everywhere. I wonder if any of the dams down here are releasing Safe Harbor, Oldwood, any of that. There, floods coming over here, right near the building. One more thing from Falmouth here, as I'm driving away, you know, I'm seeing this line of debris up here, so maybe we're receding at this point. It rained Sunday and all day Monday, and today is Wednesday. So I'm wagering everything was up at least this far, and maybe we are receding a little bit. All right, so Kozer Park and Bainbridge, the level doesn't seem too out of control, but all the debris, all the fast flow is still here. So everything seems pretty safe. We'll head down to the White Cliffs here and at least go as far as we can. Oh. Yeah, this water on this bridge is as high as I've ever seen. We're almost at the cliffs. I wasn't going to film much just because I've shown you guys this view several times. Yeah, I've shown you guys this view several times. I really wanted to get the White Cliffs coming from the other way today, but adjust and pivot. This is wild though. This is definitely the farthest in. Look at the mud mixing in there. Everything's all churned up. Can't get over all the debris just washing down the river here. Almost at the White Cliffs. These are some of the best views I've ever seen of the ghost town of Bill Meyer here. Never realized there was kind of a shack up on the hill there. Big tank. Part of the big mining operation that led to the creation of the White Cliffs here. They are basically mining waste. Limestone and everything. They mined dolomite here. The cliffs are juicy today. They are very waterlogged, almost like wet cement. I'm not gonna go too close to the edge here today. All right, so really slick up here. The river is very close to the bottom. I have on occasion been able, there's a little beach down below, and I've been able to walk out a bit. The Haldeman Riffle's completely covered here, but I've been able to walk down on that beach under the cliffs. I don't believe that's happening today. I might go down the side here and just see how inaccessible that is. Sometimes I've headed down here. Usually I think I'll go take the less steep path down there and around to here, but I think the water's just like right here, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to go very far. So between the North Cliff and the South Cliff here, you can see how far the water is up. You see those trees down there, usually, you know, obviously on land. All right, so you can see some of my slipping tracks here. Susquehanna mud trying to get me again, but not going any further. Here's the edge of the cliffs. Absolutely no beach down there, farther up than I've ever seen it. And with, I'll reach around this tree here and hold on to the tree for safety. Man, you just gotta feel like that's eroding that limestone a little bit there, as soft as it is. Crazy. All right, I'm gonna work my way back up here and head down the Shocks Mill Bridge, see how far I can get. Boots all muddy. I've got one white knee from cliff residue and one brown knee from mud. On the way to Shocks Mill Bridge, you got more Bill Meyer remnants, house foundations and such. Factory stuff on the other side of the trail, but you know, then you have stone foundations like these. Got a big long house here. Read a story this morning as I was researching Bill Meyer a little bit, just to see. I knew there were more town remains than just the stuff near the quarry. So yeah, this is the area where that is. But I was reading about it, and they said that the last survivor that lived in Bill Meyer, they brought him here in June of 2016. His name was Norm Tyson, and he was 101 years old, and they shuttled him down here. The first time he had been back in the town in 59 years, but he was the last living resident. And they were driving him around, and he was kind of recognizing stuff, but not recognizing a lot of stuff because it's all pretty much leveled and foundations and overgrown. And it's a really cool story. It was on LNP. Maybe I'll link it below. But it was his first time. He lived in Marietta, but he never came. He would ride on his electric scooter. He would ride the Northwest River Trail here, but never trusted the battery, never made it up as far as Bill Meyer from Marietta, which is south of here. And then he was 101 then in June of 2016. So I did a little more research, and turns out about 8 months later, in February 2017, is when Mr. Tyson passed away. But he was the last living resident of Bill Meyer here. Some more remains, couple sets here. This one you can wow, really see down in there. All right, so I'm passing my first flooding sign coming this way. So far, coast is clear. I just realized that I said the coast is clear. The coast is not terribly clear. All of these trees are not usually underwater. So even though we're good on the trail for now, the water is way closer than normal. All right, so coming up on the bridge. And we're not going anywhere. Juicy little peninsula here, but yeah, you can see the trail there. So here's a bench over here, normally right on the trail. So I think it comes in here and then around. There's a fence there. There's a sign that's, you know, pretty submerged. And then I'll zoom in here. We can see the roof again. That walkway is just completely underwater. So there we go. You can see, yeah, see the roof sticking out. That's basically a covered walkway that wraps around one of the pilings there. It sits in one of the arches. You can usually walk out to the first piling, but if I remember correctly, the walkway, you're out there on a concrete pad There's a fence. I can't even see the fence. Yeah, geez, I think the fence is completely submerged. The railings. Wow. All right, well, that'll about do it. Thanks for coming out today. I hiked probably twice as far today as I intended, just with the reroute and turning around. There's no easy way to get to the White Cliffs. You're either walking 2.5 miles north or 1.5 miles south from parking lots. So there's no easy access to that. So to get to everything I wanted, it was way more hiking than I thought. But I had to show you this. I'm just gonna hightail it back and be done today. So thanks for coming out. Please like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. Never know when an adventure is going to present itself. Thanks for coming along, and we'll see you on the next one.